So I'm going to say something somewhat unpopular, I think, in the fitness space online, and that is that you've been lied to about how much you need to train per week. I think a lot of it comes out of this no pain, no gain mentality that just won't die. There's almost a fetishization of struggle that permeates the fitness space and just our culture in general. There's almost a shame if you're not working hard enough. And I think that applies to fitness as well. If you look at a lot of the general recommendations you see online, you'll see people recommending 5, 6, 7 days a week. And I just think that's excessive, especially if your goals are not athletic, if you've got obligations like family, work, social life, maybe you've got other hobbies that you want to dedicate time to. I think a lot of the general recommendations sort of have this presupposition that everybody who goes into the gym enjoys it and wants to spend time like an athlete in the gym. And I know from personal experience as a personal trainer, working mostly with general population clients, that is just not true. The reason somebody hires a personal trainer is to outsource their thinking about fitness because they know it's important, they know they need to do it, they want someone to hold them accountable, and they don't want to have to think about it at all because all the information is out there. We all know this. You can do the research on pretty much anything and learn whatever you want with the internet. It's an amazing thing. But there's only so many hours in the day. There's only so much mental bandwidth that someone can carry with them. And to apply that to this idea of how many days you need to train, you don't need much more than 2, maybe 3 days a week in order to see progress and to get strong for just general health, longevity, feeling better, moving better, feeling more capable, and still having time to do the other things that you want to do. I've said this before, but really all you need is a push variation, a pull variation, a hinge variation, and a squat variation in each workout. You can structure it like one day you do a bilateral version of an exercise, so like a barbell squat, and then the next day you could do a unilateral variation like a lunge or a Bulgarian split squat. Mix up the rep ranges, maybe have an emphasis for 2 of those exercises one day, so like a barbell deadlift and a barbell overhead press. The next day you could do a barbell squat and a weighted pull-up, and then have your sort of secondary or accessory exercises as the other 2 variations. So on the day of the overhead press and the barbell deadlift, you could do your Bulgarian split squats or step ups, something like that, and your single arm rows or cable rows. And then on the day that you do your pull-ups and your barbell squats, you could do like a single leg RDL or a incline bench press with dumbbells as your secondary exercise. From there, you can just progress over time, increase the weight either each week or just as it starts to feel a little bit easier. And you could pretty much do that forever. You will have to drop the weight if you plateau, maybe change the exercises you're doing. There are ways that you have to kind of work around that. It's unavoidable at a certain point. The fundamental point that I'm trying to make here is you don't need to overthink training. You don't need to force yourself to get to the gym more than you want to, more than you feel capable of doing. And you don't need to feel guilty about not showing up to the gym as much as the young guy who has all the time in the world, or the guy whose main outlet is the gym, or the influencer who's getting basically paid to be in the gym, or the athlete whose life revolves around their sport and they're gonna make as much space as possible to do this kind of training. I think there's this idea that everybody needs to be doing the most in their training, and I really want to put that idea to rest. Because I think ultimately fitness is not as complicated as people make it out to seem. Really, it's about sticking to a program for a certain amount of time, changing it up at the end of the cycle when you get bored, and giving yourself space to enjoy life. And the gym is there to support your life, and it shouldn't be there to take over it. I guess the point that I'm trying to make with this video is you don't need to hold yourself to the standards of people who get paid to talk about being in the gym, and you can still make progress with 2, maybe 3 days a week, doing your 4 exercises, push, pull, hinge, squat, some variation of those, and that's pretty much it. So I hope you enjoyed the video. My name is Andrew. I'm a personal trainer and movement coach based in Toronto, and if you like that video, maybe hit that like button, maybe subscribe to the channel and keep up with what I'm putting out there in the world. I'll see you next time.